Shock and dauntingness was the feeling I felt. But it was the thing is I think I was on such high anyway. In a dramatic turn of events, the British monarchy has been thrown into chaos as Prince William has issued a decree stripping Camilla's family of their royal titles. Camilla has been left reeling from the news. But why has Prince William taken this drastic step, and what will be the fallout of this explosive conflict? Join us to find out. A quiet royal change sparks big waves. Some choices are meant to stay quiet. They are made in hushed tones behind grand doors with the hope that no one outside will notice. This was one of those decisions. A soft step taken inside the palace passed along through the right channels, never announced to the world. But once it became known, it stirred something big. The royal family felt the shift, and no one felt it more deeply than Queen Camilla. Prince William had made up his mind. Slowly and carefully, he began removing many of the small but special royal privileges given to Camilla's family. Over the years, they had gained more visibility, more respect, and more space in royal life without ever being truly royal. They had no claim to the throne, but they had found a place. Now that place is being quietly taken away. It started with the little things, titles that did not really mean power, but still meant something. A name on a list, a seat at a ceremony, a nod in a public speech. These were gestures Camilla had gently helped secure for her children and grandchildren, signs that they were accepted, even if only on the surface. But Prince William saw things differently. He believed that the monarchy should be clear, firm, and rooted in tradition. To him, it wasn't about kindness or appearances. It was about structure, about keeping the royal family truly royal. People close to the palace are calling it a monarchy reset. Everything Camilla had slowly built for her family is being carefully undone. This means no more honorary roles, no more invites to royal events, no more names listed beside those born into the royal bloodline. Every small connection between the Parker Bowles family and the crown is being quietly removed. On paper, the reason is simple: to bring the monarchy back to its original proper form. But the deeper message is clear. Being part of the royal world is not something that can be shared or passed on by marriage. It must come by birth and only birth. The timing of all this makes it even more meaningful. King Charles is facing serious health problems, and William is stepping forward, taking on more of the royal duties. This decision, silent but strong, offers a glimpse of the kind of leader William may become. He seems to want a simpler, neater monarchy, one with fewer blurred lines, fewer side stories, and fewer risks. William's actions suggest that he wants to protect the crown, not just the object, but what it means. He is trying to guard the royal family's image, keeping it focused and free from distraction. His rules are clear: family by blood comes first. And emotional ties do not change that. That's not an easy message to send, especially to someone like Queen Camilla, who has spent years helping her loved ones find a quiet place within the royal world. For Camilla, the decision was heartbreaking. She had worked so hard, not for herself but for her family. She had given them chances, helped them be seen, helped them be respected, and now all of that is disappearing. Watching her family be pushed back into the shadows must feel painful, maybe even personal. But this isn't just about roles and titles. It shows how the royal family is changing. Prince William is shaping a new kind of royal future. He seems to believe that strict rules and strong lines will help the monarchy stay respected and safe. In a time when royal families across the world are facing scandal and confusion, William is choosing clarity. He is thinking ahead. He wants a royal family that stands tall, one that gives to the country without being weighed down by personal ties. He wants the world to know who represents the crown and why. No more soft lines, no more exceptions. With King Charles slowly stepping back, William's calm but firm approach is standing out. He doesn't shout, but his decisions are bold. He is showing that he is ready to lead, and that he's not afraid to make tough choices for the sake of the crown's future. For her family to be removed, they had already been recognized at some point. How did her family enter the royals? They weren't born in, but they have some titles. How did this happen? Let's dive in on how Camilla's family quietly became part of the royal world. Camilla Parker Bowles has spent many years finding her way inside the royal world. At first, people did not think she belonged. Many disliked her, and some even blamed her for the troubles between Prince Charles and Princess Diana. The public and many within the royal family did not accept her. But Camilla did not give up. With quiet strength and steady patience, she began to shape her own place within the royal circle. She waited, she watched, and she moved forward at the right moments. Camilla's influence slowly grew, and it did not stop with her. Bit by bit, her children and grandchildren started to be seen more often at royal events. Tom Parker Bowles, Laura Loebs, and her 5 grandchildren were becoming familiar faces in royal settings. They did not have royal blood, but they were clearly becoming part of royal life. This made some people uneasy, especially those who understood the quiet traditions of the palace. Back in 2005, when Camilla married Prince Charles, her children lived private lives. Most people did not know their names, and inside the palace, they stayed in the background. They had no official role and no titles, but they stayed close. Then slowly, things began to change. As Camilla became more accepted by the public during the 2010s, her family began to appear more often. They visited royal homes, joined private family gatherings, and showed up at big events always near the edge, never in the spotlight, but present all the same. Even without formal titles, Tom and Laura began to enjoy quiet privileges. Palace staff started treating them as part of Camilla's household. They were added to guest lists, included in official events, and slowly moved closer to the center. At first, the changes were small, like being seated a little closer or having their names mentioned. But over time, it became clear. Camilla's family was being gently woven into royal life. Camilla never pushed too hard. Her calm nature and quiet planning helped her get what she wanted. She did not demand things or create drama. Instead, she carefully supported the idea of blended families being accepted in royal spaces. With patience and perfect timing, she helped her family take one step at a time. The biggest moment came during King Charles's coronation. Camilla's grandsons Gus and Louis Lopes and Freddie Parker Bowles were chosen as pages of honor. This was unusual. Normally, only sons of dukes or royal children are given that role. The decision surprised many people working in the palace. It sent a clear message. Camilla's family wasn't just welcome, they were part of the moment. After the coronation, Camilla quietly tried to do even more. She wanted her grandchildren to be given special recognition, maybe even ceremonial titles. She did not expect them to be in line for the throne, but she hoped their place in royal history would be secure. She dreamed of them being remembered, not just as her family but as part of the royal story. To help this dream along, Camilla worked behind the scenes. Royal photographers were asked to take more pictures of her grandchildren. Public relations teams began mentioning them more often in royal news. There were even little jokes among the staff about the family dividing into 2 branches, one with royal blood, the Windsors, and one through Camilla, the Parker Bowles. But not everyone was happy about this change. Some older members of the royal family and traditional royal supporters did not like it. They felt uneasy about giving so much space to a family without royal roots. To them, this shift could weaken the royal image. Even so, Camilla kept going. She made quiet requests. She asked for her grandchildren to have ongoing roles at official events. She hoped they might be given simple titles. She even asked for new homes for her family on royal lands. Most of these requests were turned down gently. Some were ignored. But beneath the calm words and polite smiles, tension was growing. This was not just about titles. It was a deeper question about who really belongs in the royal family. Camilla had spent years carefully building a place for her children and grandchildren. She wanted their place to last, even if it meant changing old traditions. Her actions showed just how deeply she cared and how far she was willing to go for her family. Once seen as an outsider, she slowly became part of the very center of royal life. Her determination and calm strength made that possible. Even with challenges and resistance, her careful path has left a mark on the royal world. So how did this once outsider enter the royal house? Let's go back to the beginning of the strained relationship of Charles and Diana. Camilla's unlikely journey to royalty. Camilla did not become royalty overnight. Her journey was long, quiet, and filled with twists, heartbreak, and waiting. Before the palace and crowns, she was just Camilla Shand, living a simple life. She met Prince Charles in the early 1970s, not at a polo match as many think, but at a friend's house. Right away, they clicked. They spent time at parties and events, and Camilla often watched Charles play polo. Their friendship quickly turned into love. Charles met her outdoorsy family, and she met some of his. It looked like they were meant to be. But in 1973, Charles left to serve in the Navy. They weren't engaged, so when he left, their bond quietly faded. Some say Charles never asked her to wait. Others think Lord Mountbatten sent him away to push him towards someone better. Some say Camilla's heart still belonged to Andrew Parker Bowles, with whom she had an off-and-on relationship. While Charles was away, Camilla married Andrew. When Charles came back, she was already someone else's wife. Time passed. They each built their own lives. In 1981, Charles married Lady Diana Spencer. The world hoped for a fairy tale. But behind the palace doors, the marriage was rocky. They were very different people. The smiles in public did not match the silence at home. In the late 1980s, Charles and Camilla reconnected. Their love did not feel new. It felt like returning to something that had never really left. But now things were harder. They were older, and every move was watched. In 1989, Princess Diana found out. At a party, she bravely asked Camilla to step away. But the bond between Charles and Camilla was strong, based on years of trust, friendship, and care. In the early 90s, the truth began to spill out. Diana's biography shared her sadness and loneliness. In 1992, Charles and Diana officially separated. A year later, a private phone call between Charles and Camilla was leaked, shocking the public. Charles later said he turned back to Camilla only after his marriage had broken. Diana shared her pain too. In 1996, they divorced. Camilla also ended her marriage. Finally, Charles and Camilla were free. But Camilla stayed in the background. Many still loved Diana and blamed Camilla. She did not speak out or try to take the spotlight. She stood quietly by Charles, showing her love and loyalty. Over time, people began to see the real Camilla. She did not try to be Diana. She stayed kind, calm, and true to herself. In 2000, Charles and Camilla got married in a simple ceremony. Queen Elizabeth did not attend the wedding, but came to the church blessing after. That moment quietly showed Camilla was accepted. After the wedding, Camilla focused on helping charities, encouraging reading, and supporting causes she cared about. Slowly, the public softened toward her. They saw her as steady, kind, and loyal. When Queen Elizabeth passed and Charles became king, Camilla became queen consort. It was a powerful moment. Years before, few imagined this. Now she stood beside the king with grace and strength. Why did William just make this decision now? He has always been quiet. How did he make this decision a reality? Let's see. William's gentle push to protect the crown. Behind the sparkle of royal events and smiling photographs, something quiet but important was happening. It wasn't loud or flashy, but it was steady. Prince William, the future king, had been watching, learning, and thinking. And now, He was ready to take gentle but firm steps forward. For many years, William stayed calm and polite in public. He shook hands, smiled for the cameras, and showed deep respect for his family. But inside the palace walls, his heart held quiet worries. He started to feel that things were changing in a way that did not feel right to him. The royal family he loved so much seemed to be slowly drifting from the values he believed in. William respected his father, King Charles, and understood the comfort he found in Camilla. Everyone deserves love, and William knew that. But he also believed in something greater: duty, tradition, and the quiet power of the crown. To him, these weren't old ideas. They were the foundation of the royal family. After Camilla became queen consort, her family began appearing more and more at royal events. Her children and grandchildren, though kind and good people, started to be seen in places William believed should be reserved for the direct royal line. To some, this might have seemed harmless, but to William, it was a big shift. He felt that royal roles should not be shared based on feelings or family ties by marriage. Instead, they should follow clear, traditional lines. If too many people represented the crown, the public could become confused. Who was truly royal? Where was the line drawn? Princess Kate felt the same. Both she and William believed in a simpler, clearer version of the monarchy, one that did not involve dozens of people wearing titles and performing royal duties. To them, less was more. It wasn't about power, it was about focus, respect, and meaning. Quietly, without any fuss, William began making a plan. He did not raise his voice. He wasn't angry or controlling. He was careful and thoughtful. His goal was to protect something he loved deeply: the honor and value of the royal family. William looked up to his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, Princess, and her husband, Prince Philip, also Princess Anne. Kind of know that this might happen. You don't really think about it very much. Not least of all, because the monarchy is about continuity. But I think they had always led with purpose. They kept the royal circle small and meaningful. They believed that only a few key family members should carry out royal work. William agreed. He also listened to the people. He read news reports. He noticed when the public became upset at far-off royals living grand lives. He understood that public trust was fragile and that it was something to be earned and protected. He knew the crown had to stay humble, kind, and connected to the people. His vision grew clearer. Only those truly born into the royal family, he believed, should hold royal roles. No extra titles for extended family. No public duties for those not part of the direct line. Not because he disliked anyone, but because he loved the crown more. He did not want to risk its future by allowing it to become something too large, too confusing, or too diluted. William understood something very important. Love and loyalty to family are strong, but the crown must always come first. That did not make him cold or harsh. It made him careful. He did not want to embarrass anyone. He did not want to create conflict. He just wanted to guide the royal family gently back to its roots. His actions weren't meant to reject anyone. He wasn't turning his back on his father. He wasn't trying to hurt Camilla's family. He was simply redrawing the lines that once were clear. He wanted to build a royal family that stood tall not because of its size, but because of its strength, purpose, and unity. William's plan is quiet and thoughtful, just like him. He doesn't rush. He doesn't push. He moves with care, always thinking about how the public might feel, always putting the crown above everything else. A royal reset, a change is happening inside the royal family. It's not loud or dramatic, but it's steady, and it's led by Prince William. Slowly, William is stepping into the spotlight. He's becoming more involved, more thoughtful, and more focused on shaping the future of the monarchy. This isn't just about keeping old traditions. It's about making sure the royal family moves forward with purpose and care. Behind the palace walls, William has begun putting his ideas into action. It started with small changes, soft whispers shared with trusted advisors. Soon guest lists for royal events were quietly updated. The people standing on balconies and walking in parades began to look different. Only those closely connected to the royal bloodline remained in key roles. At first, the changes were barely noticeable, but then the public began to see something new. Big royal events had fewer unfamiliar faces. Crowds started to notice who appeared beside the king and queen, and who did not. A quiet message was being sent. The core of the royal family was becoming clearer, more focused. One of the biggest shifts came when William chose to remove honorary roles once given to Queen Camilla's grandchildren. These titles had given them special status during royal ceremonies, even though they were not born into the royal line. It wasn't a move made out of spite. It was made with clarity. William believed the public deserved a monarchy that was simple, honest, and easy to understand. Some people might see these choices as cold, but William sees them as necessary. In today's world, where every action is watched, every photo shared, and every word discussed, he believes there's no room for confusion. The royal family must be strong not only in appearance, but also in how it is shaped. William's father, King Charles, leads with his heart. He values warmth, connection, and keeping loved ones close. He often makes choices based on feeling. William loves and respects this, but his own way is different. William's path is calm, careful, and focused. He thinks deeply before he acts, but once he knows what's right, he stands firm. To him, the crown must be guided by purpose, not emotions. Every decision he makes is about protecting something precious, the future of the monarchy. He respects Camilla and honors her role as his father's wife. She has stood by King Charles for many years, and William appreciates that. But when it comes to royal duties, he makes a gentle but important distinction. Camilla's children are family, but they are not royal, and while they are loved, they are not part of the royal team that represents the crown. This is not about shutting anyone out. It's about drawing a clear line between personal life and royal duty. It's about bringing the royal family back to its roots, a small, strong, trusted group that the public can believe in. These changes may have been difficult for Camilla. She has shown loyalty and love over many years, but William isn't looking back with regret. He's looking forward with quiet strength. He isn't trying to erase the past. He's building something new, something lasting. He dreams of a royal family that is simple, strong, and easy for people to trust. He wants the crown to stand tall, even when the world feels uncertain. And most of all, he wants to leave behind a legacy that his children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, can be proud of. Many will ask why this harsh move. Stick with us to find out more. Why William chose to make a change. Many people have been left quietly wondering about the changes Prince William is making within the royal family. They wonder why he would choose to make such changes and ask themselves what he might be trying to protect or keep safe. Some people think maybe his actions come from a wish for more power. Others feel it might be something much deeper and more meaningful. From the outside, the royal family might look like a group of important people with grand titles and fancy public events, but to William, it means something much greater. To him, it is not just about appearances or being seen in the right places. It is about duty. This duty was promised even before he was born. A quiet promise to help people, to stay strong through hard times, and to lead with honesty and kindness. Why would William suddenly decide to start making changes now? What is pushing him to make bold choices that others might see as strict or too firm? Some people believe that William is thinking very carefully about the future. He is not only getting ready for what is coming soon, but also thinking about the years ahead for the future generations. He knows that one day he will be king. When that time comes, he wants the monarchy to be simple, strong, and trustworthy. These days, people are asking more questions than ever before. They want to know about money, who is doing what job, and why some people still attend royal events when they do not seem to have a real role. These are fair and honest questions, and it seems William understands how important it is to give clear and truthful answers. Could it be that William has learned lessons from the past? He watched how his parents' lives were picked apart by the public, and how feelings and family troubles sometimes created distance and hurt inside the royal family. It is possible that he now wants to make a smoother and kinder path for his own children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, by making difficult decisions today. Maybe William believes that being a royal isn't just about receiving love and attention. It's also about earning respect. And respect comes from making tough but fair decisions in the right way. By trimming down roles and setting clear boundaries, he might be trying to show everyone that being part of the monarchy isn't a prize. It's a duty. Is there a chance he might be acting too strictly? That could be true, but it is also possible that William is thinking about the bigger picture. Maybe he understands that you can be kind while also being clear. It makes sense that you can care about people while making choices that are good for the whole family and the country. Perhaps he is trying to balance his love for his family with his loyalty to the monarchy. William grew up in a world full of cameras, news stories, and people with many different opinions. He knows he is always being watched. Maybe he feels that now is the time to lead, not by saying too much, but by making gentle and careful moves. His decisions might feel surprising right now, but one day, people might look back and see them as wise choices made to protect something very old, precious, and delicate, the true heart of the monarchy. Why would Prince William choose to take these steps? Perhaps it is because he is thinking about more than just being a son. He is also thinking about his responsibilities as the future king. What was Camilla's reaction to this news? What plans did she make to counter this decision? How deep did her pain run? Let's find out. Camilla's breaking point. It was a peaceful day at Clarence's house until Queen Camilla got the news. Everything changed in seconds. The calm turned into shock. It wasn't just bad news. It felt personal, almost like a message. You do not belong. Camilla had worked so hard to find her place in the royal family. People had judged her for years. There were whispers, headlines, and cold looks, but she never gave up. She stood by King Charles through it all. Slowly, people began to accept her. She believed she had earned her place, not just as Charles's wife, but as queen consort. Her family had always been respectful. They never caused trouble, but now Prince William had taken something very dear to her. Her grandchildren were quietly removed from royal events. Their small roles were gone. They weren't invited to ceremonies anymore. It was as if they'd been erased. Camilla was devastated. Close friends said she cried and asked why William hadn't told her himself. Why had she heard it from the staff? Why hadn't anyone warned her? For Camilla, this wasn't just about royal titles. It was about everything she had gone through. All the years of silence, loyalty, and strength. Now it felt like it had all been undone. She canceled her plans, did not eat, and wandered around in quiet disbelief. "He's trying to erase me," she whispered to herself. Staff noticed the change. The house felt heavy and quiet. Camilla wasn't herself. This wasn't just a bad day, this was heartbreak. In private, she shared a deeper thought. She did not believe this was only about structure or change. She believed it was about Diana. To her, it felt like William was still carrying old pain, and now he was using it to undo everything Camilla had built. She told a friend, "This feels like Diana's revenge." Even more surprising were her thoughts about Princess Kate. Camilla believed Kate had a hand in the decision. She thought Kate's kindness was a mask, that behind it was a sharp, clever planner. Their relationship, already cool, turned cold. The next time they appeared together, Camilla would not even meet Kate's eyes. Everyone noticed the chill. But the deepest pain came from King Charles. He said nothing, not in public, not even to her. He did not defend her, and Camilla felt betrayed. She had stood by him through everything. Now, when she needed him most, he stayed silent. The days that followed were quiet. Camilla pulled back. She missed meetings, avoided messages, and became distant. It wasn't just sadness. It was something deeper, a shift. In her private moments, Camilla began asking, should I speak out? Should I make sure my side of the story is told? She talked to close friends, advisors, and reporters she trusted. She wasn't looking for a fight, but she did not want to be forgotten either. If they won't remember us kindly, she quietly said, they'll remember that we did not go down quietly. It was a turning point. After years of being quiet, kind, and patient, Camilla now felt hurt and proud. She had spent so long standing behind others, but now she felt pushed aside. What does this deal mean for King Charles? He has always been a quiet king. Was he aware of this decision? Did he approve it? Let's dive into it. Torn between two worlds, King Charles has always been known as a gentle soul. He listens to his heart, avoids conflict, and chooses kindness over power. But now he's facing a storm he never expected, one that touches both his crown and his heart. His wife, Queen Camilla, is hurting. His son, Prince William, is standing firm. And Charles, the monarch caught in the middle, feels lost. It all began when Camilla found out that her grandchildren would no longer be part of royal events. Their small ceremonial roles had been quietly taken away. The news came without warning. No talk, no explanation, just silence. At Clarence's house, that silence turned into tears, raised voices, and heartbreak. Camilla was stunned. What hurt the most wasn't the decision itself. It was the silence from the man she trusted most, her husband. Charles did not say anything at first. He watched, he listened, but he did not act. Camilla had hoped he would speak up, that he would gently stop William or at least question the move. But he did not, and that broke something in her. Camilla had spent years walking a hard path. She had been judged, doubted, and misunderstood. But she never gave up. She stood by Charles through the hardest moments. She believed she had finally found her place, not just beside the king, but in the royal family. Now it felt like that place was slipping away. Prince William's decision wasn't cruel. He wasn't being harsh for the sake of it. He simply believed the monarchy needed to be smaller, simpler, and clear. In his mind, the royal family should only include those directly in line. No favoritism, no exceptions, not even for Camilla's family. To William, this was about the future. The public was watching closely. Every move mattered. The monarchy had to be strong, focused, and easy to understand. But to Camilla, it wasn't just about roles and rules. It was about legacy. She had worked so hard to be accepted. She had given so much, and now it felt like she was being pushed aside piece by piece. Charles understood both sides. He saw Camilla's pain, but he also saw the truth in William's reasoning. The country needed a clear vision, and William, as the future king, was leading the way. Still, this choice tore at Charles's heart. People close to him said he looked tired, worn down, stuck between love and duty. Camilla had pulled away. She skipped meetings, ignored messages, and left rooms without saying a word. Her sadness was quiet but deep. William, on the other hand, stayed calm and determined. He believed this change was right, and he wasn't going to hide it. Charles did speak to his son, hoping to soften things. He asked him to be more gentle, to be more private about the changes. But William kindly said no. He felt the public deserved honesty. This wasn't about Camilla, he explained. It was about the bigger picture. Inside Buckingham Palace, the mood shifted. This wasn't just a family disagreement. It was a quiet divide, full of hurt feelings and long memories. Charles stood in the middle. On one side, the woman who had loved and supported him for decades. On the other, his son, who was trying to shape the future. Camilla began to keep her distance, not just from William and Kate, but even from Charles. Some said she saw his silence as a sign he agreed. Others thought she just needed time to process her sorrow. Either way, Charles noticed, he could feel the space between them growing. He knew his silence had played a part. Charles was never meant to be a fighter. He believes in peace, not battles, but now he faces a moment where silence speaks just as loudly as action. He carries the crown on his head, but the weight in his heart is even heavier. He is not only the king of a nation, but the keeper of a family that is quietly breaking apart. He knows he can't undo what's been done. He can't go back. All he can do is hope. Hope that with time, kindness, and love, the pain will soften and the bonds will begin to heal. Though the decision wasn't finished, it already brought pressure. What's the palace's view on this decision? Stick with us. Whispers inside the palace. Inside the Grand Palace, people reacted differently to Camilla's heartbreak. A few members of the court quietly felt sorry for her. They understood that even though her grandchildren were not born into royalty, they had slowly become part of the royal world during King Charles' time. By doing small duties and appearing at events with grace, they had blended into the royal story. These loyal courtiers found it sad to see them suddenly pushed aside. But others fully agreed with Prince William's decision. They saw it as a needed change after years of unclear rules and quiet favoritism. To them, it was about protecting tradition and making sure the royal family stayed strong and clear in its purpose. They believed it was time to set boundaries and remove any confusion about who truly belonged in the royal family. No matter what side people took, it was clear the power inside the palace had shifted. Prince William was already acting like a future king, and everyone could see it. King Charles saw it too, but stayed silent, caught between his son and his wife. Yet even in silence, there was meaning. In the royal world, quiet moments often hide deep thoughts and careful plans. Now people inside the palace quietly wonder what Charles will do next. Will he stand beside Camilla and her dream of a gentler blended royal family? Or will he follow William's strong wish to protect old traditions? Everyone knows his silence won't last forever. Sooner or later, Charles will have to choose between his queen and his future king. The last step in William's royal reset. There was no noise, no speeches, no big announcements. But deep inside Buckingham Palace, a quiet but powerful decision had been made. Everything was signed, approved, and set in motion. Just like that, a long chapter in Queen Camilla's life came to a soft close. Her family, once welcomed into the royal world, was now gently pushed out. The first signs were small. Camilla's grandchildren, once present during King Charles's coronation, were suddenly missing from the guest list for the upcoming state banquet. No reason was given, just silence. Then came a private memo quietly shared among the royals. It said that non-royal members of Camilla's family would no longer be included in public events, official photos, or ceremonial roles. In simple words, they were out. No more titles, no more royal appearances, no more special treatment. Slowly, their names began disappearing from the royal website. Once listed among the royal circle, now they were gone. Only old articles remained. To the public, it may have looked like a small change, but inside the palace, it meant everything. Prince William had led the change. Every step was carefully planned. Those who helped him said he did not act out of anger. He wanted the monarchy to stay strong, focused, and based on tradition, not personal bonds. To him, the royal family must stand for duty, not emotion. Even smaller things were taken away. Security passes were removed, invitations to events stopped. Charities were told not to include Camilla's grandchildren. Organizers were instructed to leave their names off guest lists. It was all done quietly, respectfully, but firmly. William did not give speeches. He did not blame anyone, but his actions were clear. He believed the royal family had to be strong, simple, and deeply rooted in legacy. And that meant only including those born into it. Some called it cold, others called it brave, but everyone agreed. This was the end of Camilla's dream to have her family fully accepted into royal life. Her children had done nothing wrong. They were simply no longer part of the plan. For Camilla, it must have felt like a quiet heartbreak. After years of trying to prove herself, not just as the king's wife, but as a true royal, her family had been carefully moved aside. William's focus wasn't personal. He was thinking of the future. He wanted a monarchy that was clear, stable, and without confusion. Now the decision has been finalized. How would it look? How will Camilla's children and grandchildren be affected? After the storm. At Clarence's house, everything feels different now. What was once filled with warm laughter and gentle chatter is now quiet. Almost too quiet. The air feels heavy, and every sound seems louder. People close to Queen Camilla describe the mood as cold. Rooms feel colder. Looks feel sharper, and silence feels louder. Outside those walls, the royal calendar continues to move forward. Plans for next year's big royal events are already in motion. The guest list is being carefully chosen. Only direct members of the Windsor family, those with royal duties and titles, are being included. Camilla's family, once part of these moments, have now been quietly left off the list. There were no big announcements, no speeches, just a quiet but firm shift, signaling the end of something important. Inside the palace, some believe Prince William is bringing back focus and structure. They say the monarchy has drifted over time, and William is drawing clear lines to guide it back. Others, though, whisper that something human is being lost, that behind all the rules, people's feelings are being hurt. Still, William moves forward with quiet strength. To him, the crown isn't about comfort or tradition for tradition's sake. It's about purpose, history, and clarity. He sees Camilla's family as a chapter that is closed, and he's already started writing the next one. Camilla's relatives are being told in soft but certain ways that their welcome has ended. They will no longer appear at official events or be included in royal records, not out of spite, but because William believes the monarchy must be focused and clean in its image. His vision is different from King Charles's. William's monarchy is smaller, sharper, and more focused. Some may think it feels colder, but William believes it must be this way to protect the crown's true meaning. In his mind, only those born into royalty should carry its weight. King Charles, caught between love and duty, remains silent. He watches, trying to keep the peace in a moment that feels delicate. But William's actions are already reshaping the family around him. This change within the palace is quiet but deep. It's more than just names on a list. It's about a new direction, new values, and a shift in power. Camilla may in time find peace with it. Her sadness may soften, her anger may fade, and Charles may continue to stay silent, guarding his feelings. But William has spoken loudly, not with words but with action. His vision is now part of the monarchy's future. This new rule cannot be bent. It leaves no space for exceptions or emotion. It is steady and clear, carefully built to last. No one can yet say whether it will make the royal family stronger or more distant. But one thing is sure. The age of soft lines and shared roles is over. In its place is William's focused, firm, and thoughtful plan. The change may be quiet, but its echo will remain. A new royal journey has begun. What do you think? How will this decision affect the monarchy in the near future? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Before you go, be sure to click on the video shown on your screen.